Though we have all traveled many uncertain roads, we have always recognized something wasn't right. We searched high and low, yet our paths had never intersected. Our desire to seek truth, then to speak true, has brought us all together. That thing of ours is rooted in truth, because truth is the only unshakable foundation. In the greatest book, it states in John 8:32, "For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Truth is a powerful force. It is the foundation on which all great achievements are built, and the bedrock of trust and respect in any relationship. When we are rooted in truth, we can be confident that our decisions and actions are grounded in reality rather than in speculation or wishful thinking.
The pursuit of truth is not always easy. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncomfortable facts. But in the end, the truth is always worth it. It allows us to make better decisions, to build stronger relationships, and to create a more just and equitable world.
From politics and world events to entertainment and pop culture, we've got you covered. We'll explore our history and the stories that matter to uncover the truth that lies at the heart of each one. With our fingers on the pulse of the news cycle, we'll provide the insights and analysis you need to stay informed and engaged. As we stay rooted in truth and let the truth guide us in all that we do, let us be willing to listen, to learn, and seek out the facts, even when they challenge our own assumption or belief.
Let us never forget that the pursuit of truth is not just an individual endeavor, but a collective one. Only by working together
With honesty and integrity,
can we build a better future for ourselves
And for generations to come.
This is That Thing of Ours. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
you didn't say the date.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Friday, 20th of December, 2024. All day. Like you didn't know this already. But here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. It's the
Hey.
20th still.
And if you haven't already, please go ahead and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on Rumble or YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And if you're on Facebook, there's like 7 choices. So clickety click.
Clickety click. Hope everybody's doing good. Is that me or is that you?
That was me.
It is you, because I just put the sound on. Yeah, that doesn't work out well.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So we're trying. I don't know. Whatever. It's a day. It's
a day.
a day. Whatever. Anyways.
We got Aaron in the house.
Yo, Aaron, what's going on, brother?
Got F. Clint.
Yo, F. Clint, how you doing, man?
Miss Jenny.
Jenny,
Watch out for the frogs, Jenny.
watch out for the frogs, Jenny. And that's it.
We got
Right.
Hope.
Oh, we got Hope. Hey, Hope. Oh, I even
Miss
said hi to her already.
Angie. Yeah.
There we go.
How did you forget that?
I'm scattered, but you
Why
know
are
this
you
already.
scattered?
I'm always scattered.
Okay. Well, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to it.
Okay.
Because this isn't getting any better. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get
Can you
right into
read
it.
that, please?
Yes. JD Vance says Democrats would rather fight for global censorship bullshit.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Even though we had a clean CR, because they didn't want to give the president negotiating leverage during his first term, or during the first year of his new term. And number two, because they would rather shut down the government and fight for global censorship bullshit. They've asked for a shutdown, and I think that's exactly what they're going to
38
get.
Republicans vote against it as well. What's the path forward, Mr. Vance?
Come on, guys.
Are you meeting with Speaker Johnson tonight to regroup? What's the plan?
Change the smoke detector battery over there.
I know. Hey, Carol.
Hey, Carol. Thanks for joining.
So thoughts?
So thoughts. Well, it's already changed now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it's
just
already
came
changed.
in.
Yeah,
like,
just
right when we went live.
just came in. Did we get a video for that yet?
Oh no, there's no video yet.
Oh, no video yet. Okay. So basically, House passed the funding bill to avert to government shutdown
Until March 14th.
until March 14th. So just enough time for President Trump to get in there. And I'm sure that will possibly give him a little bit more of a say as to what the budget's going to be looking like. Also, Doge Doge will have been in play for a little while, which is going to find out about a lot of things. This might actually end up working out better in the long run, simply because Trump will be in office and things will there'll be more observability to all the things that are going on over there in the government and the budget, whatnot. So yeah, it should be good.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you? You got all the typing going on.
I got a lot of stuff going on. Can you read
I know
that,
you do.
please?
Peter McCullough says timing of the California bird flu state of emergency appears deliberately calculated.
Hey, Chachi.
Hey, Chachi, what's going on, man?
Let's listen.
All right.
Well, what do you make of it? You know, here we have Peter Hotez saying a few weeks ago, Donald Trump starting January 21 is going to have all these pandemics, right? And then we have Gavin Newsom today declaring this. I don't know if with all your busy schedule, you probably haven't had time to read the over 1,500 pages of the continuing resolution in D.C. Have you seen any of the pages from it, though? Because if not, I have a screenshot you might find interesting.
No, I do. McCullough Foundation, everybody should follow McCullough Foundation on X, Twitter, and the other social media. We've broken these stories. First, let's take the California declaration. Remember that bird flu, the current outbreak has been smoldering now since 2021. We're, entering our fourth year of this. So any governor at any time could declare a state of emergency. They've already done it in Colorado or Michigan. And California, the most recent to join. Now, the California notice is quite interesting because it's right on the heels of a serious human case. So in the California release, they cite 64 human cases, and all were mild, basically like pink eye. But there's a gentleman over 65 who's hospitalized. Apparently, he had dead birds in his yard. And that news, plus a teenager in Canada also had severe symptoms, was hospitalized. Probably neither received treatment early on, which would have avoided all of that. Was enough to kind of cross the threshold. Now, here are the consequences. People are not being quarantined in California, Brandon, but this is what's going on. They have 47% of their dairies now under lockdown. They're locking down the cows because bird flu has spread from migratory waterfowl, mallard ducks, into farm chickens, into cows. And so they've locked down the cows. They're doing weekly government testing. They have virtually every dairy under weekly testing now. And they've recalled raw milk. They found bird flu in raw milk. So far, no humans have gotten sick from drinking raw milk, but there's a report, not well verified, of 2 cats that may have died drinking raw milk. So where are we at here is that bird flu is it's an ongoing problem. It's been around for 100 years. And what the governors are doing now is they are timing these emergency declarations to influence various political events like the upcoming set of confirmation hearings coming up.
Thoughts?
All right. So California playing California games. I think it's more about Gavin Newsom trying to protect whatever he's got going on over there. Because I know
Nancy Pelosi's nephew.
He is. And I believe that he's still going to take the actions that he is capable of taking to ensure that he's oh, that's the wrong one. My bad. There we go. Liar, pants on fire. There we go. It is a bunch of BS. I don't believe it. But then again, that's their own fault because they're the ones that have proven themselves to be untrustworthy based off of what we understand, all the truth that's finally coming out about the Rona. Also, just in general, all the lying that they do. They're untrustworthy. But then again, it's all about them keeping power. We can associate pretty much any moves that the far left makes at this point in time is going to be some kind of a play to maintain whatever it is they think they can maintain. Chachi says everyone knows it's BS, and Newsom is probably already compromised by the white hats. Yeah, I believe that because I remember he disappeared for a little while. There was a casting call, and then all of a sudden a new gruesome Newsom came about. Yeah, it's part of the play. And pushing the bird flu to help exposure/disclosure. 100%. Hope says, I'm going to have a dead bird in my yard if it don't quit being a big bully at the feeders. They are going to make shit up. Exactly, Carol. The other thing is I saw something where they're saying your cats can transmit the bird flu now. So,
Really?
well, yeah, they want to come after your pets. They don't want you to have pets. Aaron says, the only flu I've heard about killing people is the government flu. See band Dead Kennedy song, Government Flu.
Hey, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy. Thanks
Glad
for
you're
joining.
here.
Yeah, glad you're here.
You ready?
No,
Okay.
actually, as a
You
matter
have
of fact, I'm not, because there was a Q post that kind of,
Oh.
it talked about, long story short, it was once everybody figures out what the Democratic Party is doing. Okay, there we go. Q post 2635, December 20th, 2018. And it talks about, you want to read that for me, please?
It's not up.
No, with the comment that
Okay.
you have up.
Okay. Only time, Wendy says, the only time you hear about the bird flu is from the news. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
All right. So here's a Fox News article, and it says the Democratic Party will cease to exist once it's all exposed. Fake news can no longer control or dampen public awareness of the truth. Dark to light. And
Okay.
see, and so
Yeah.
I believe that this is exactly, I think it was Chachi that said that it's exposure. Yeah, I believe that's exactly what this is. They have to continue to do the exposure. We know that the people in California are a lot of them are still under the ether in terms of what the swamp has been telling them for so long now. And now they have to see it for themselves personally, so that way they can be motivated enough to get out from underneath the slavery system that they're in. Hey, Moto, thanks for joining.
Okay.
All righty.
Now are you ready?
Yeah, now
I
I'm
don't
ready.
want to push you.
No, you're good.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you. Can you read that, please? And look, it's big. I need your glasses.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Dilly Meme Team brings back a killer meme video calling out the vote rigger, Fannie Willis. Big Fannie Willis.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Now I say is she a boat rigger, but fatty only make my lead bigger. Now I say is she a boat rigger, but fatty only make my lead bigger. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. 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 Fanita thought always at the beauty salon with the baby Louis Vuitton on the underarm. She said, talk to Waka Flock, I could really do harm. For a case, I got a lot, I could blow up your spot like a bomb. But I'm looking for the one, have you seen her? She went and put my whole team under subpoena. Diva, Friday, Felicia, abort kids, and charge her gonna Donald Trump and nothing for bullshit. Indict Gucci Mane and chase her for some fame. She think it's all a game, but rap with no shame. She get up on TV, and you all know her name. If you're playing Fulton County, then you better get paid. You know why? Because the DA corrupt. Yo, from what I heard, Fatty got a baby by Mondo. And Loomis said she got a trap house and a condo. She don't care whatever said, long as she flopped, though. Now I say is she a boat rigger, but Fatty only make my lead bigger. Now I say is she a boat rigger, but Fatty only make my lead bigger. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. 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 13 counts, 13 counts. She getting paid to pounce, and that for 13 counts. I know somebody paying top to charge whoever he says. Another DA in the pop that handle all of his biz. You will see her at the courthouse, call her Fatty Willis. Charge another rapper because you know she out to get us. She even charge her president if you could pay the money. Election interference done deal for the money. She walk around looking like Trap Cole with the money. She got a new week, got light pole with the money. Money. If you ain't no punk, holla, we want D-Trump. We want D-Trump, yeah. It's something that you need to have, because when we get revenge, we gonna kick some ass. 13 counts, got paid for every count, straight into bank accounts. Now I say is she a boat rigger, but Fatty only make my lead bigger. Now I say is she a boat rigger, but but fatty only make my lead bigger. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down.
Thoughts?
All right.
Hey, Colleen. Hey, Dawn.
Hey, Colleen. Hey, Dawn. Thanks for joining, ladies. All right. So, yeah, funny song. Truly enjoyed that.
It's Friday.
I'll tell you what,
Funny shit in.
I know the left is losing their mind because of all the fat shaming that was going on there, but it's kind of well deserved. She's done this to herself, and so therefore it's things that she should expect to be attacked. And now that she doesn't have the cover that she had before by being some fake ass Soros owned DA, I think that she fully deserves this and needs to have a little bit of that humble pie that she forgot this nation is truly about. Is the humility is what makes it all work a lot better, as opposed to giant egos. In which case, the left will have some kind of objection about President Trump's ego, but his ego is directed as a tool against the very people that are trying to destroy this nation. So I'm all right with it in the meantime.
Hmm?
Yeah, Big Fanny Willis. Good job, ma'am. You did this to you.
Yes.
She's a shameful fatty. That's why she's getting fat shamed. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Whatevs.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
This is from Miss Jenny. It's a great video.
All right. Jenny's been on fire.
Perfect body will change, but a beautiful
Does that?
What did it did?
It
beautiful
pops
face
forward.
will age.
Oh.
A perfect body will change, but a beautiful heart, it'll always be a beautiful heart. It's the exact opposite of what the world is telling you to look for in a partner. The world has convinced us all that our value is in the external. And as a result of convincing us of that, it's convinced us that that's what we should be looking for in a partner. Look, I'm not saying to settle, and I'm not saying to be with someone that you're not attracted in. I'm saying that beyond that is what you're actually looking for. You're looking for someone you feel comfortable with. You're looking for someone you feel safe with. You're looking for someone that provides you the space you need to be the most authentic version of yourself. So that's why you'd rather focus on what someone looks like. How well is that going? And how long will you go in life until you realize the truth that a person's real value is within, and you'll never be able to see or value what's really important in someone else until you drop the mask and allow yourself to see yourself for who you really are and find importance and value in what's within.
Thoughts?
This is probably one of the biggest problems that America has. It's a symptom of America's problems, the superficiality. Beauty is only skin deep, and ugly goes all the way to the bone. And so I've seen this happen time and time and time again, where people will go for a physical character trait as opposed to like the core of who they're trying to connect with. When we connect on a deeper level at the core of the human being is beauty fades, and understanding that this person that you've chosen to be with, are they really caring about you? Are you paying attention to the red flags? Is this somebody that you can work with as time goes on? Understanding that everything's going to change as time goes on. But the basic core principles, but the basic core principles of the human being will remain relatively the same. And so it's always important to make sure that we're looking at the whole package as opposed to just that initial, lust. It's really the flesh that's telling you these kinds of things. If you're looking at a relationship for what can I get out of this, what kind of image does it present, those are all the wrong reasons. What you need to be looking for is can this person help me be a better person? Does this person make me want to be a better person? And those two things together will overcome so much more. But a good friendship is significantly more important to the health of a relationship moving forward in the future than meeting them at the club and then can they dance and do the twerking and all that other crap. Yeah, those are handy skills for very specific occasions, but not everybody needs to know about that.
Right?
Jenny says most are fake and only look at the outside, not the inside, and they will have to learn it on their own, Jenny. Plus, the younger generation are looking in the wrong places, like the bar. Yeah, I know, and I think that was something that's been passed down for hundreds of generations. To tell you the truth, most people are really looking, at the wrong places, and they keep wondering why they get what they've been getting. Thank you, Ho. I appreciate that. Let's see. When it says, Santino, I could push them over the edge if you want me to. I can go over to YouTube right now. Yeah, because I had said, I said, we're seeing what shenanigans we can get away with over there on YouTube because they already don't like us. And
Yes, and Aaron says y'all are all spelling it wrong.
YouTube.
And he would appreciate it if you guys would spell it properly.
Oh, God. There he goes.
Are you ready?
Aaron, tell it how it is, man.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
The best thing I learned this year was how to still enjoy my life during my storms. As long as we have life, we will have problems. My entire world can be in chaos, and I'll still try to find a reason to laugh and smile. I realize that happiness isn't found in the absence of hardships, but in the moments we create within them. It's in the little victories, the quiet strength to keep going, and the choice to hold on to hope when everything feels heavy. It's understanding that even in the midst of uncertainty, the heart can still find its way to joy. I've learned to embrace my journey, storms and all, because it's in those moments that I find out just how resilient I am, and how life, even when imperfect, is worth cherishing.
Thoughts?
Little victories. And this is one of the things that we try to focus on around here because we see like all the big picture stuff and we hear all the lies that they're telling us. Okay, good. I got to write sound effect this time. All the liar, pants on fire stuff. They lie to us, and it's easy to get drugged down by all of that negativity. But what they said in there is focus on the small victories. And see, we get these small victories all the time, and that's why it's so important for us to point them out. Is because these small victories, it's like a brick house. You can't build a brick house with one giant ass brick. You got to have a bunch of small bricks put together, and then eventually a structure is built around it. And that's what we're watching when we are focusing on those small victories. One, we're staying positive. We're keeping that positive mental attitude. Two, we're pushing away the negativity of the big loud voices that tell us everything's a failure. But three, with that positive mental attitude and providing that shield against the negativity, what we're doing is we're bringing more of that positivity to us because we're focused on that which is already positive. And like attracts like when it comes to vibrational frequencies. So that's one of those things that can help bring us out of the doldrums that we find ourselves in life. And please don't think that I'm free of the doldrums in my life, nor is Kay. And that's another reason why we've learned to focus on the small things, because they really do add up to a lot. Hey, Steph, thanks for joining.
Hi, Miss Steph.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm going to, okay. Read that later. All right.
Are you ready?
I think we're ready. Are we ready? I don't know. Are
Can
you ready?
Read that, please?
Yes. Tim Pool's fiery truth bombing of left-wing cultist Luke Beasley is spot on.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You have.
No,
right.
I
So,
haven't.
no. Stop. You don't know anything about these January 6 cases. You don't know why these people are in jail. You don't know that a man is in Brooklyn right now for 3 years without charge or trial. And when Donald Trump says these people have been held for too long, you say, no, Trump is wrong. Keep them locked up. That's fucking fascist. Dude, You've been sitting here with no knowledge of the specifics of some of these cases. There is a man in Brooklyn right now. I'm going to say it again. No charges whatsoever brought. And he's been in jail for 3 fucking years. For you to sit there and say it is good that he remains locked up is fascism. That is saying the hierarchical system of the courts and the government is just, and the process is all that matters. And I am saying perhaps 3 years is enough, because I actually have moral logic and an understanding of these cases. Hence, my position on January 6th has always been the people who have attacked police must go to prison. But 3 years is a fucking long time for assault on an officer. We have seen people on the far left, notably when they were firebombing shit all across Minnesota, 33 people murdered. And how many criminal charges do we get for this? When they firebombed a police station and forced the police to evacuate on May 29th, 2020, when thousands of far leftists firebombed the White House grounds and set fire to St. John's Church and injured 100 police officers. How many fucking people went to prison for 3 years? How many of them who never showed up on that day are in prison for 20 years? Enrique Tarrio wasn't even in D.C. on January 6th. And you are saying that man his only crime was, quote, don't leave. That's his only crime. You think he should be in prison for 20 years because you're a fascist. You don't care what the facts are. You don't care if this is unjust. You only care that the machine state has decreed you are not to be locked up. And this is the problem I have with the left. They don't know the facts. They don't care about the facts. They view morality as a blanket government stroke of the pen, and every person, regardless of their crime, should be in prison for decades. I reject it outright. The people who fought cops should go to prison. They did. It's been 3 years. But when you've got people who are on misdemeanor charges for having walked into a building at 4 p.m. after the riot, and I know some of these people, they walked into a building for 2 minutes and walked out, and they got 18 months for that. I don't see you defending the innocent people who walked onto a public grass at a public building after a riot had been completed. You don't know. You don't care. You've taken a tribal position, and people are suffering because of it. Now you say that Donald Trump saying the injustice that we've seen warrants commutation or pardons. You say that means he's advocating for violence. This is the ultimate problem. Then you cite a press release from Maryland saying, but the right's more violent. There is a distinction between a white supremacist as a right-wing group and a run-of-the-mill Christian conservative who showed up on that day not to protest. Let's talk about Brandon Strzok. He never went in the building. He was on the other side of the building. There was a permitted protest. He walked up the stairs and he was yelling. They put this guy in prison. There is Owen Schroyer, who was at a permitted rally, who was yelling death to communists. They put him in prison and specifically cited his speech. My dude, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's fine. I get it. We try to be polite. We try to be nice. But there are so many young liberals who sit here and say, the corporate press told me that these people are bad, and the machine state government has decreed it by pen. So I don't care what crime they committed. I don't care what the jury said.
Thoughts?
J6ers got screwed. They don't even get the rights of a citizen, because what they're doing is they're trying to say that since it was an insurrection, it was actually an attack on the United States of America. But what Tim Pool brings up is the fact that so much worse has happened on the left-hand side, where each and every one of those assholes got away with it. Not only got away with it, but clowns like Kamala Harris find themselves actually raising money for these assholes. See, there's a huge double standard that has pissed off each and every one of us that have been paying attention. No, we don't think that setting anything on fire or destroying government property, the people's property, none of us agree that destroying government property is anything that we should be doing. It's just not anything that's going to help out. As a matter of fact,
Just makes it worse.
well, yeah, because power has to change hands, and that's money that's getting wasted.
Yeah.
That has to come out of the people's coffers. So be respectful and an actual citizen as opposed to a hooligan. Were there some hooligans there? Yeah. Were most of those probably FBI paid or government paid goons? More than likely. Were there some people that got wrapped up in the heat of the moment? Yeah, but I'm going to lay the blame on the government, because their people were the ones that were instigating it. They were the ones doing it. That is entrapment, and those people that were involved with that need to be charged with the very things and have their rights taken away, because that was an actual attack and an insurrection against the power of the government of the United States under the color of law. Therefore, treason. That's what needs to be dealt with. And that little kid, on YouTube, and of course he's going to be able to be promoted and big and all that other crap. Why? Because he's toting the party line. He's getting paid to say what's on there. And so I believe that this is a little bit more of the exposure, simply because Tim Pool went out there and made that boy sit there, and he was slumping in the chair. And I wish he would have told him, sit up straight like a damn man and listen to this and accept the information that you're receiving. Yeah, I would have had a lot more fun with that one. But I'm truly excited about him laying it out for that kid, because he needs it. And he's had life handed to him on a silver platter. I don't know how he had it to him, handed to him on a silver platter, either mommy and daddy's money, or does the Adreno kind of whatever. They seem to really like that over there on the Google side. So I don't know, but I think time will tell. Jenny says, the only attack on America were the Dems that did this. Exactly. BLM and Antifa dressed up as Trump supporters. Yeah. And there were plenty of videos out there of them changing clothes, out front. It was planned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chachi says the riotous lefty antics won't fly anymore. I don't think they will either. I think that the cops will be more empowered. Our police officers will enforce the law. They're more likely to enforce the law, because what is expected out of us, we expect out of them. We're not asking for any special treatment like the left always does. The left always needs special, kid gloves, because they might get their feelers hurt, but nobody cares about their feelers anymore, because their feelers are what got us here. Hey, Monkey Toes, thanks for joining.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please?
Dan Bongino says, shut it down. Nobody's.
The other piece of good news is Donald Trump, Elon Musk, J.D. Vance, and others shut down this absolute shit sandwich of a CR last night, this continuing resolution. Folks, I'm sorry. We are not falling for this again. That's the title of today's show. I'm done with it. I'm tired of it. I'll address it today at the end of my radio show, so you leave with it. Folks in the chat, tell me if I'm crazy here. I need your feedback on this. This is important. I am a realpolitik guy. Don't mistake my passion for topics and my emotion, I don't want to sound ridiculous, for a lack of pragmatism. I understand there is a math business up on Capitol Hill where you need certain votes. What I don't understand is we currently have a majority in the House of Representatives, meaning the Democrats have to come to us. That's what a majority is. Why would we shove a shit sandwich bill down America's throat that does nothing to cut spending? I mean, unbelievably, finances a censorship operation out of the State Department, gives Congress a pay raise, deals with like the transfer of a football stadium. You're telling us this is such a pressing thing, and then you're freaking us all. Oh my gosh, the government's going to close that. It's not our freaking fault. You guys had a year to work on this thing and are now stuck in a shit sandwich at the end. We paid you to get conservative spending bills across, and you didn't do anything. I don't want my point to get lost here. The point is this. If you had at least a little bit of success over the past 30 years, Republicans in Congress saying, hey, we're not going to fight this fight now, but we'll fight it next time, we would say, okay, maybe we agree to this bullshit. I wouldn't, but maybe we'll agree to it until March. Then when Trump gets in, we'll go back and we'll cut some spending. The problem everybody has is you guys just keep telling us this, and you never actually do anything, ever. The most unforgivable piece of this spending bill that should have never, ever been agreed to was this global engagement center thing from the State Department. You understand, if you've been screwed over by a bullshit fact check, you were kicked off Twitter before Elon, or any of this other stuff, do you understand that was largely due to operations like the Global Engagement Center at the State Department? Why the hell would Republicans in Congress agree to fund this thing? Oh, look, we have the answer. Gabe Kaminsky is a pretty good reporter. This is a really long tweet. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but a lot of people are pissed off at the speaker for this. This isn't the kind of thing that slips through the cracks. Get used to it Mr. Speaker and others. Twitter, the second this bill goes public, there are algorithms designed to pick this stuff out. Everybody knows what's in it. There's no hiding anymore. According to a congressional source familiar with the matter, the Global Engagement Center provision was a private demand from Senate Democrats in exchange for another provision Republicans want. So just to be clear, who thought this was a good idea? We're going to allow a State Department operation to be funded to censor conservatives because we wanted some tax cut? I love tax cuts. The Corporate Transparency Act is a disaster. I get it. But we're trading away people's civil liberties. We're not doing that. 2 points here. Number one, we as conservatives do not negotiate away civil liberties like free speech. I'm sorry. I don't know what you were thinking. We're paying you guys an exorbitant amount of money. You're getting your ass kissed by lobbyists all day to go and battle for civil liberties and the Constitution, not give them up. And second, throw that up again at the end, please. That they had a private demand for a deal. In other words, let us censor people through the State Department. Let us censor people through the State Department, and we'll give you this Corporate Transparency Act provision thing. The Democrats don't stick to deals anyway. Here, you need some evidence? Here are the receipts. The Democrats always give you the middle finger on deals. You read this Wall Street Journal article? So there was another deal, too, about judges retiring. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but read this piece. You want to get pissed off. It's called Judges Unretire After Trump Wins. So it turns out Republicans cut a deal with Democrats that said, these liberal judges are going to retire. We will give you these Biden judicial nominees, but those judges are going to retire. So it was basically a zero sum. Well, look what happened. The Senate Republicans got played. They said okay to the Biden nominees, and all of a sudden the judges unretired. So to the Democrats and their bullshit deal for our First Amendment. And no, I'm not riling up the audience. I'm telling the audience the truth. And as I said to people, I earned this microphone, and the Bongino Army earned their place out there too. And we're tired of this bullshit. You got to shut the government down until Trump gets in there, then shut it down. Even Newt Gingrich, who's not known as some big flamethrower, right? Even Newt Gingrich this morning, I retweeted it, said, listen, this is time for shock treatment. The government's got to shut down to make this point that we're going bankrupt, then the government's got to shut down.
Thoughts?
The government, who's going to suffer if the government shuts down?
No one.
Is it going to be the people out there in the Carolinas where that hurricane hit and they're all homeless? Is that going to stop their, ability to survive? Because I haven't been hearing about anything that the American people actually want done. Yeah, I don't care if the government shuts down. I don't think very many people would shed a single tear.
No.
Now, the military, they need their pay and stuff like that. That's
But
important.
They have shit for that.
Yeah, it's a bunch of BS. Chachi says it's like a rehash of all the corruption from the last 4 years in one huge document. And I think that that's going to be part of it as well. He brought up one of the points there. Let me share a screen of our screen. But he says that the Republicans were getting a provision aiming to protect small businesses from certain fines approved by the Biden administration under a bill called the Corporate Transparency Act. See, the thing is the Republicans, they are negotiating with terrorists at this point in time. They are terrorists. They are taking away people's rights, and they're trying to say, okay, well, we'll give away these rights if you let these rights for this special interest group that we have, as opposed to saying, hey, y'all are a bunch of fascist Nazis and you should be dealt with accordingly. That's what we expect out of our politicians. We don't expect them to negotiate with the terrorists that are within our government.
No.
But that's why we voted in President Trump, because Americans are sick and tired of it. And we want it done the right way. That's why we did it the way we did, which is through the ballot box.
Mm-hmm.
And once things get cleaned up from the presidential top down, from the executive level, he might make it easier for us to clean out the legislative branch. And, maybe those two combined together, once we have a real country back, maybe they can clean up the judiciary.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I think so.
You
Yes. DNC Women's Chair Lindy Lee calls Kamala Harris delusional for considering 2028 presidential run. Oh, I agree with her on that one.
ready?
Mm-hmm.
November 5th was a decisive defeat for the Democratic Party. She lost every single swing state. It wasn't a squeaker like it was in 2016. This was a resounding defeat. And right now, Kamala Harris is indulging in delusions of running for governor of California, possibly in 2026, or even president again in 2028. America has said this is not what we don't want to be coconut pilled. We do not want Kamala Harris. We don't want failed border policies. And I feel like I'm liberated and I can finally tell the truth that the Democrats completely failed on the border. Title 42 was a tremendous mistake, and no one is willing to say that. And you shouldn't be called bigoted or racist because you want strong borders for the United States. And you should be able to say that the economy was ailing under the Biden-Harris administration, that price hikes did indeed happen, but they denied that for the first 3 years of the administration. And when they finally did something, it was too late.
Well, Linda, you're
Thoughts? And yes, she did. She said coconut pilled.
So the Democrats obviously already knew that they didn't like her. They were going to throw her under the bus. She was a sacrificial lamb from the beginning. It was very apparent. They didn't have anybody. They still don't have anybody. And I also believe, like what Q said, there won't be a Democratic Party after this. I think that there will be enough people that they will be even less effective than the Libertarian Party has. It'll just be the watermelon people. What is the Green Party? You know, green on the outside and pinkos on the inside. Yeah, them. Communists. Like, it's just going to be the Green Party anymore. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody likes them.
I know.
Nobody likes their policies. Nobody even likes the way they think.
I know.
It's got to go away.
It really
And
does.
it's an insult that these people call themselves Democrats when the Democratic Party was so much more than it has been for so long.
Yeah.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Welcome back, Wendy.
Welcome back, Wendy.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
How about some Kelly?
All right. Go for some Kelly.
Can I show you something in the Bible today I bet you've never noticed before? You ever heard people try to explain the Bible as the Old Testament is Jesus concealed, New Testament is Jesus revealed? What that means is every story in the Bible is about Jesus one way or another. Now, sometimes it's easy to see, like the story of Jonah or Abraham offering his son as a sacrifice. But can I show you one today that maybe you've never fully recognized? I'm talking about the story of Noah. This story may actually be the greatest representation of Jesus in the Old Testament I have ever seen. Let me show you. The first thing you need to realize, though, is ultimately Jesus is the main character of every story. And that is 100% true about the story of Noah. No, Kelly. Noah is clearly the main character of the story of Noah. Oh, really? If you ask a child, or anyone for that matter, to draw a picture of Noah, what's the one thing they'll add to that drawing to signify it's Noah? Now, if you said an old man with a beard, well, shoot, that could be anybody. Moses, Abraham, Noah. It could be literally any Bible character because we have no idea what they look like. Now, maybe you'll get away with saying a rainbow. That still doesn't quite get us there. I mean, now you just got an old guy with a rainbow. But to really drive your point home that this is a picture of Noah, you add a boat. You see, the main character of Noah's story isn't Noah at all. It's the ark. And upon closer inspection, the ark is really just a picture of Jesus, thus making Jesus the main character in the story of Noah. You see, what was the purpose of the ark? To save Noah and his family from the wrath of God because of sin. Does that sound familiar? Jesus is our savior from the wrath of God because of sin. Understand, because of Jesus, we get to experience all the love of God without any of the wrath of God if we choose to follow his son Jesus. That's why in scripture, when Jesus is born, the angels proclaimed, now that Jesus is here, peace on earth and goodwill towards men. If you've ever wondered why God seems so harsh in the Old Testament and so loving in the New Testament, there you have it. Jesus satisfied the wrath of God on the cross. And if for some reason you want to say God's wrath wasn't satisfied on the cross, go read Isaiah 53 and then give me a call. But it gets so much better. Genesis 6:14 says, make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and out with pitch. You see, gopher wood is cypress and it will not rot. And pitch is tar. What is interesting to note here, though, the word used for pitch in this verse is not the usual word for pitch. This word is translated in the rest of the Bible as atonement. The water was God's judgment, and not one drop could come through. Jesus Christ is the atonement for our sin, and in him, no judgment can get to you. Oh, that's so good. Well, let's keep going. When we read the instructions that God gave Noah to build the ark, did you ever notice anything kind of strange? God never told him to add a rudder or a steering wheel or even a sail. So what does that mean? He gave Noah no control. God is driving this ship. Just like when we give our lives to Jesus, we hand over complete and total control. You see, when Noah stepped into that ark, he was saying, okay, God, I'm giving you control of my life. I trust your plan. And you know what? I bet it felt scary at times, just like it does for us. But he had to be fully convinced that God's plan is perfect. And the exact same goes for me and you when we enter into a relationship with Jesus. All right, and for the last one, let's look at the door. In the specifications on building the ark, God only instructed Noah to build one door. You see, there was only one way to be saved. And the same goes for you and me. There's only one way to be saved. We have to go through Jesus. You see, Jesus says in John 14:6, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me. You see, there are lots of ways to get to God. You can hear about him at church, through a friend, the TV, the radio. But there's only one way to actually get into heaven where he resides, meaning there's only one way to be saved. You see, lots of people saw Noah building the ark, but none of them actually got in. There will be many sad people on Judgment Day who know all about God, but they never entered through Jesus. It's going to be a sad day for so many. You see, Noah himself couldn't even close the door. God had to do it himself. And the truth is, there will come a time when that door is closed, meaning there's no longer an option for salvation. You see, the way that door closes for us is one of two ways. You die without accepting Jesus in your life, that door is closed. Or if Jesus returns before you accept him as Lord and Savior in your life, that door is closed. Now, I don't know which one is going to happen first for you, but one of those two options will happen. And if you haven't entered in through that door, meaning a personal relationship with Jesus Christ yourself, you'll end up like so many others who watched as Noah and his family entered in and were saved, and they were not. The good news is, if you're watching this right now, there is still time for you to get in. Don't waste this moment if you realize that's you. But if you are saved and you know that for sure, let this be a message of joy and hope to you. A beautiful reminder of who Jesus is and what he's done for us. The ark saved Noah and Jesus saved you. Now that is some great news today. So let me encourage you. The point of this whole Bible study is this. Jesus is the main character of every story, yours included. Evaluate your life today. Have you allowed Jesus to be the main character in your story? Or is he just a sidekick? Somebody that you drag along to everything you want to do? Does he have the lead role, or are you still holding on? I say it's time today to give Jesus full and total control. Trust that his plan for your life is so much better than yours ever could have been. Or maybe you need to enter into that relationship with him today. Because when your story becomes history, that's actually when your story becomes his story. And that, my friends, is the greatest story ever told. And think about that for a minute.
All right. Again, Kelly's always amazing, spitting some real truth there. So we've heard this time and time again about how the entire Bible is about Yeshua, and I can agree with that, and I can see how people might not be at that point in their journey yet, but that's okay. The point is to get people there where they start to understand it. Of course, then again, we got to get them to read it first. But anyway, I digress. The story of Noah really is an amazing story in terms of our faith. Think about the faith that Noah had to have. And it started long before the flood even started. Could you imagine how people were, why are you building a big ass boat? Well, you see, God told me that all these animals are going to show up and I'm going to take them and we're going to go, float across the world as he floods it. And like, how do you explain that one, right? And even if you do explain it, people are like, yeah, right. We only get a small
Crazy.
Yeah, we only get a small taste of that in our conspiracy theory world. But the point being is that then there was this boat that had no rudder where he had all these animals on there. And he was there for a year. And he couldn't even open the door. The door was opened and closed for him. So it all required faith. As the whole world floods away, that is a tremendous amount of faith to know that you are going to be okay in the end. So it's indicative of the kind of faith that we have to have, because we may not know what's in store for us, and some of the things that we do might not make sense to a lot of other people, so long as we're being good about the whole thing. Don't be doing crazy stuff, but we have to have that faith, and that faith will see us through these challenges. And recognize one of the points of all of the stories in the Bible, they point to pretty much somebody having committed every sin, if I'm not mistaken, just about, if not all of them. I think all of them. The What we need to recognize is that so many of these stories in the Bible have such greater uh, uh, difficulty level than the things that we go through on a daily basis. And so we should draw strength from that, because other people have had to go through more, have had to endure more, and have maintained a level of faith that we ourselves might not even understand. So these are lessons that we need to draw from this. And it's one of the reasons why we do love the Bible, because we can draw strength from it. And these stories do tell us that there is a brighter future, and it may not be on this plane of existence. It could very well be in our lifetime, and timing kind of works out and all that other stuff, but definitely it will be different on the other side. And that's what we're really working for. We're working for our creator.
Yes. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's listen.
No.
Or can you read that, please?
Yes. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says the White House was not happy I stood up for the city.
Ready?
More exposure.
What was the reaction that you got at the White House when you asked for help?
When we saw the numbers coming in, we were getting at one time almost 8,000 a week, 16,000 every 2 weeks. I mean, we could just do the math, unsustainable. And at that time, the right to shelter, we were being sued by advocates that required us to give everyone a bed by a certain number of times. We were getting buses 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. And we reached out to the White House, 10 trips to Washington, D.C., asking them for help in securing the border and stopping this flow. I went down to El Paso and also went down to the Darien Gap, and I saw the flow and the threat that we were receiving. We didn't get the support. We got $200 million out of a $6.5 billion deficit. And so many people believe that, okay, Eric, it's in your rearview mirror. It happened already. You got 170,000 out. No, the damage that we are going to see long-term from spending $6.5 billion, $200 million could have gone to those chronically absent children. We could have put hundreds of millions of dollars into the senior care, helping people with medical debt relief. So when you start to look at the long-term impact of the services we did not provide, it's going to start materializing in the years to come. That is the destruction that I was talking about.
So when you had that pushback from the White House, they stopped returning your phone calls?
Prior to this crisis, I asked the president to come to New York City when we were having a crime problem, the gun problem. He came here and met with our law enforcement. We had a continuous conversation with the White House on these important issues. When this issue happened and we asked for assistance over and over again, and I refused to remain silent while I was watching this city harm, we no longer received the support that we deserve. We no longer had an opportunity to communicate with the president. It was a clear statement from the White House that they didn't appear to be happy that I was standing up for the city. And other mayors should do that. Look at what happened in these other cities: Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, Houston. Cities should not be taking away the resources from their residents to handle a national crisis.
Thoughts?
All right. So if this doesn't reek of exposure and like trying to red pill people, I don't know what is. Isn't it interesting that these things are happening in the two biggest blue states out there? We talked about Newsom earlier in California and the shenanigans they're trying to pull, but New York's being worked in an opposite direction. But I also think that that speaks to the different mentalities between the two states and how they think and react to everything that's going on. California clearly needs more pain because they haven't figured it out yet. Whereas New York has been figuring it out for a while. They didn't like the way they were treating NYPD with all the illegal immigrants. Now this mayor is acting as somebody who actually cares about the city for a change. That's good to see. But at the same time, we're also seeing how he interacts with the Democratic Party in Washington, D.C. And what we're observing is that if you aren't towing the party line, you are going to get brushed away. And that is yet another exposure in and of itself. Again, building this thing one brick at a time, but it is happening. Hey, troublemaker, thanks for joining. I think this guy got bribed so many times he started forgetting who bribed him.
That could very well be.
Yeah.
That could very well be.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yes. Welcome.
Welcome, new friend, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate you joining us.
Are
and
you
saying
ready?
hi. Yeah.
This is going to irritate you, but got to play it.
All right.
Welcome back. We have some breaking news to tell you about. There is a large police presence happening in the West Loop. Now, this is video from the Citizen app. Police say they arrived within the last hour to deal with this situation. It appears to be centered around that Coca-Cola delivery truck that you're seeing off there. Police say they arrived within the last hour. We have not gotten any details as to why they have converged in this area around that Coca-Cola truck. Again, this has been happening within the last hour in the West Loop. We're keeping an eye on this story for you, and as we get more information, we will bring it to you immediately. Welcome back. We have some break.
Well, I can tell you what they confirmed afterwards. Fox News confirms that Coca-Cola is involved in child trafficking.
It says that where? Oh, on the Telegram article there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. And in front of a Domino's. Now, I can tell you that I used to love me some delivery pizza, and I used to love sodas as well. But I noticed after a while that the probably like oils that aren't good for your body were being used extensively in those things. And it was just tearing my stomach up, and went from one delivery place to another. And they all just, they put the nasty food in there, which I think that RFK Jr. is going to be cleaning up. But it's not like the stuff in Coca-Cola. We shared a video a fortnight or two ago, 2 to 4 weeks ago, where we were talking about how the sodas are different in the United States versus the other countries, and it's a lot more than just the cane sugar versus corn syrup, and it's a whole litany of chemicals that are thrown in there. The companies don't care about the people. If they did, then they wouldn't be poisoning us all the time. So it wouldn't surprise me if, it's got to get, I have no idea where West Loop. I was a little confused about that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just sharing information. We don't even know all the data for on that one. That was a terrible job, but
Aaron is
there's still something to draw out of it. And do not say, oh, geez. Yeah. We don't say sorry around here. Aaron, get over it.
We don't.
No, we don't.
We don't. Are you ready?
Used to live near Woodruff and 14.
Oh, okay.
Not that I know much about DC.
Yeah. Can you read that, please?
Yes. Breastfeeding expert Jasmine Sussex defends her stance amid controversy with tranny community.
Ready?
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
A Victorian breastfeeding expert is being taken to Queensland Civil and Administrative Tribunal after she criticised attempts at breastfeeding by trans women, so biological men. This practice involves biological men who have transitioned, taking hormones to stimulate milk production from an anatomically male breast. In a series of social media posts, Jasmine Sussex claims it's experimental and it's a dangerous fetish. This latest controversy comes after she was sacked by the Australian Breastfeeding Association back in 2021 and came on here on Credlin after she refused to use gender-neutral language like chest feeding rather than breastfeeding. But Ms Sussex has vowed she won't be silenced. I'm delighted to say, the very brave Jasmine joins me now. We were talking in the break, weren't we? The world is crazy now. Were you surprised that you got this anti-discrimination complaint levelled at you?
I was, just because I have no relationship with this man, and he's been campaigning online for years, literally since he transitioned, to normalize this practice of trans women trying to induce lactation. And so it took the Queensland Human Rights Commission a long time to process his complaint. So I thought that he was accepting that there are different views in the community, but obviously not.
I think there's one big view in the community. I mean, most people would think that this is beyond the pale. I suspect in the medical community, it's divided.
Hey, Mike.
You're a lactation specialist. How on earth does someone with male breasts lactate for a baby? And what quality of milk is that for an infant?
Yeah, well, we just really don't know. There's a handful of case reports that have been published in really the trans activist medical lobby, so in the endocrinology journals and in the trans health journals. So they really don't tell us anything other than the experience of that individual trans identifying man, you know, and what he claims. They're all self-reports, so no one's had them in a laboratory expressing milk, or, you know, we just don't know.
Would it be the same quality as a woman's milk with colostrum and everything else that comes from that? Is it the same quality of breast milk?
Yeah, it seems very unlikely. You know, men who have disorders of the pituitary glands, the hormone centers that contribute to breastfeeding, can secrete a fluid from their chests, even if they haven't, you know, if they're not trans women. So, you know, we know from that there's some things in that fluid that's similar to mother's milk, but one of the major problems seems to be that they only make starvation quantities of this fluid. And
so it'll be never enough to feed an infant?
No. So, you know, and you also just have to ask, well, why? You know, why do they want to? And should we indulge that kind of selfish desire to use the baby to affirm their gender identity? You know, that's really my concern. I think it's a safeguarding issue. And I also think, you know, I'm sure it's a small group within the trans community who are advocating for this, because everybody loves their children. But, you know, really, we just need to protect the mother-baby dyad. They're the only ones that can, you know, as a natural flow of pregnancy, then they're able to breastfeed, and everybody else really needs to get out of the way.
Thoughts? This was a target-rich news article. There's so much going on here. I could probably spend another 30 minutes just talking about the bullshit that I've been hearing on all of this.
If I have to watch these videos, you guys get to watch these videos.
We'll stop watching them so we don't have to.
I was like, what? I had to see what was going on. And then I got into, and then it was just too late, and y'all had to watch it.
All right. All right. First of all, men don't have breasts. They're moobs. All right. And it's because you're fat. And it doesn't matter what science has told you, you cannot breastfeed. And we don't know anything about it. More medical experimentation that should fall under most certainly the Nuremberg 2.0 trials that I fully expect to happen in the future. Now, yeah, thank you, Jenny. Men don't produce milk.
Nor can they have freaking babies.
'Cause
They don't have a uterus or eggs.
That was another thing too, is it's called mother's milk, and nobody asks for man's milk.
Exactly.
Well, not nobody. I mean, yeah, but whatever.
See, Mike agrees with you, even though
This
he's
exactly-
driving and not talking.
Okay. Starting with breastfeeding. I understand where you're coming from, troublemaker. That, you know, hey, you know, breasts out everywhere is probably not a bad thing for every guy on the planet. I understand. However, I think that what it really does highlight is the fact that this is why women shouldn't be breastfeeding in public. And it's not because it's not a natural, normal occurrence. It's that there's so many mentally unstable people that would sit there and take it to the extreme, to the point where they want to call themselves women, grow themselves a set of tits, and say that they can breastfeed. And it only encourages that piss poor behavior. I think it's a private thing that should be done privately. I understand it's natural and people shouldn't be ridiculous about it. I understand what life shouldn't be and what it should be, but let's go off of reality. And I think that is probably a more important thing. So until we're able to grow up as a species, I don't know if it's really the best idea to continue to encourage this. And how can you enjoy dinner if you have to breastfeed? And it seems like just give it some time. Look, I understand you need to get up out of the house, and taking care of the baby, be it your first time, can frazzle you. I get it. I understand. It's not that I'm not empathetic to you. As a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. I think that it is the empathy that wants to prevent you and your child from having to experience some weird dude that wants to try to come up, hey, mind if I feed your baby on my breasts? And it'd be like, it's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a real bad day once that happens. But if we persist down this path, that's exactly where we're headed.
Yeah, I know.
May God have mercy on all of us. We need help.
Exactly, Mike.
That's what we get for closing all the nut houses. Yeah.
Mhm. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Can you read that?
Don't do
please?
that ever again. I'm not happy with you right now.
Oh,
Freight train takes out semi in Texas.
you're never happy with me when I have weird
Play
videos.
weird shit like that? Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah, please.
Tracks.
Right in front of the museum, quite a mess, dude. Took out this truck right here. Ah, pobrecito.
¿Sí se llevaron la outfit, verdad? ¿Se llevaron el
Eso
outfit?
estaba en el trailón, esa madre.
Oh, hasta acá
Eso
se ve.
yo cuando vamos así, que nos paramos hacia frente de los carriles. Ahí está. Thank you.
But
Are we going back to the train wrecks again?
I'm wondering because there was a video a couple days ago about the train as well.
I'm sorry, say again. There was this stuff playing in the background.
There was a couple days ago, there was another accident.
Another
that
train
I
wreck?
did- yeah. that I
Because this
didn't
was a
play.
straight up derail.
Yeah.
Another derail. I mean, I hope we're not going back to this, but would it surprise any of us?
Here's the camera. I'm just always busy doing background stuff, so I turn it off.
Yeah, that and was she self-conscious? It doesn't matter how much I tell her how beautiful she is. She just whatever. Anyways, so I'm concerned about more train derailments. They're getting close to the end of their rope, and the tactics that they use are probably going to be going all out.
Yeah.
I hope not, but you can't be at every railroad crossing.
No.
And train wrecks are, great destruction. But yeah, whatever. But I also know that vehicles get hit by trains all the time too.
There, guys. It's on. Okay. It's just I'm always doing something and I look distracted and I don't like you guys thinking I'm not paying attention when I really am.
Yeah, and that's another one of the reasons is she'll be looking everywhere else. Chachi says the last 4 years was a huge train wreck.
Amen, brother.
Literally and physically, literally
Amen.
and metaphorically.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
They are pulling out all the stops, Dawn. They really are.
We'll see.
Are you ready for some Justin?
Yeah, we could use something good. I'm tired of all this misery.
When you've used up the benefit of your season, you'll feel stuck. The lessons you were supposed to learn, you've learned. Now it's time for a new season. With God, it's first the blade, then the ear, then the corn in the ear. Everything is a process. A lot of times God has given you an instruction and you have ignored that instruction, and it's leaving you static right where you're at. And you may even feel like you're not hearing from God. Well, he's giving you an instruction. He's waiting on you to enter into a new season because he's refining you. He's developing you into something great. When God's bringing you into a new season, it's going to require a new level of faith. Faith is confidence in God. And this is a new season that he's trying to take you into. This is going to require a different level of faith, a different level of confidence. But I promise you, what God's trying to bring you into and what he's trying to show you is going to complete your purpose.
Thoughts?
All right. So individually, and we've talked about this before, it's like a plane. And this is Les Brown, great speaker, or at least he used to be. I don't know. But anyways, he said that, when you're in a plane, they ask you to buckle your seatbelt when you're going to a higher altitude because you might run into some turbulence. When we go to the next level in life, there is going to be turbulence. Yeah, it's kind of like what we're seeing now. And I think that this is perfect timing after the previous video in terms of the destruction that's happening. They are going to create as much turbulence as they can in an effort to try to prevent America and the American people from being able to be Americans and citizens again, as opposed to slaves to the corporate system that we've been under. And so, yeah, we're going to go through some rough patches. There're going to be some problems. People don't like change, especially when they're the ones at the top rung of the ladder, and they need to come down a notch because they've been too busy, trying to worry about their own good. But that's not what this is about.
Right.
So we're going back to what America should be as equal citizens amongst citizens.
Say what?
Just an idea. I heard it once before. I read it in school before the Department of Education totally trashed what the education system was because I'm old. But anyway, it's
You're not old. Stop it. I'm older than you.
well, whatever. Anyway, so it's it's what we're going through right now, and it works on the grand scale of national level, global level, but it's also the same on a personal level. And we have to take these lessons in life. Remember, life is never going to be smooth sailing all the time. Life would be boring if everything was easy all of the time. You'd never feel like you get challenged. That's one of the reasons why all these far left uber rich kids end up doing the weird shit that they do, because they need to feel alive, because everything that they have in life has been handed to them. And so they don't know how to deal with it. See, it all has to change. It all has to change for it to get better. But we got to go through the problems first. But those problems make us stronger. Remember, a tree has to be in the wind to make it stronger so it can deal with winds further in the future. Because if it's never challenged, it never gets as strong as it could be. So we're just getting that strength. It's just never fun when we're getting stronger. But you know what? Going to the gym sucks, but man, if we don't love the results that we get from the gym, it all correlates. It's all the same.
Exactly.
It's about trying to keep it right inside the brain housing group there. Hey, Esto, thanks for joining.
We're glad you're lurking while you're making dinner.
What's for dinner?
I know. What's for dinner? Are you ready?
Yes.
Can you read that, please?
And all the amendments. Oh, you mean the bottom part? Musk says, if the size of the law exceeds the word count of the Lord of the Rings, then something's wrong.
And see, this is why I don't keep my camera on, because sometimes I roll my eyes at him, and now y'all can see that.
Yeah, normally I'm the only one that gets to see the eye rolls.
There are a few things I'd recommend, which is keep laws short. Long laws, it's like that's something suspicious is going on if there's a long law. If the size of the law exceeds the word count of Lord of the Rings, something's which it does, amazingly, then it's like something's wrong. So there should be a limit to the size of the law that you should be able to digest it. Like, how come you can read the Constitution and all of the amendments, like you can read those in maybe an hour? And we govern so much of our civilization by that, and yet modern law is this obtuse, super boring tome that's indecipherable to almost anyone.
Thoughts?
What year did it say it was? 2028? Or not 2028,
2018.
2018. That's what I meant. You know what I meant. Anyway.
This is why I don't keep my camera on.
So obviously this is a thought process, and so many people have felt this. You know, when the founding fathers created this nation, they were doing one-page laws.
Uh-huh.
One page. It should be able to fit on one page. As a matter of fact, the Constitution's what, on 4 pages? If it's longer than the Constitution, it probably shouldn't be even considered. You know, it's like the word I appreciate is Lord of the Rings bullshit, but that's too many words. I think that we need to go off of the word count of the Constitution, and I think, or the Declaration of Independence, either or a combination of both of them together, because we're not as smart as they were back then. Otherwise, we'd be going back to the moon. But anyway, we don't have to have all these extra words, because the extra words are what makes it so that way the government can sneak in all of these little things that have been sneaking in for 100+ years.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need that. What we need is a well-oiled machine that is the government, that's able to get things done with the least amount. It should be the most efficiently run organization on the planet. And we should expect nothing less.
Yep.
We'll see how it plays out. I did hear somebody say that they were floating the idea of Elon Musk going for Speaker of the House as well.
Oh,
That'd be kind of funny in the meantime.
F. Clint says should be 1-paragraph laws. Hey,
Sounds good
Dad.
to me. Hey, Dad. Thanks for joining.
I think Troublemaker's leaving us because he's hungry.
He's hungry?
Yeah.
If it's on the phone, it's mobile. It can go with you.
Yeah, it can go with you, Trouble. And Esto's making the same thing we're having for dinner.
Oh, actually, that sounds good.
Ready?
Yes.
Can you read that, please?
There's nothing green about building a wind turbine. Are you ready?
Yeah, I was reading Wendy's comment.
You know how wind turbines are built? Let's start the base of the tower. First, a circular base is formed using concrete. Once the cement dries, a series of intersecting pipes are installed with screws. Around these pipes, reinforcement bars are laid to form a larger circular plate. After sealing it with a lid, concrete is poured inside. Holes several meters deep are drilled into the pipes, and excess pipe material is ground off. A high-strength metal disc is then fitted over the holes. Next, a high-pressure pump injects composite resin material into these holes, and after the injection, a steel rod is inserted into each hole. The intersecting angles of these rods underground firmly lock them into the rock layer. The gaps in the metal disc are filled with sealant and locked with screws. The bolts on the disc are reserved for mounting the tower. For wind turbines over 5 megawatts, the base needs to be deeper and larger. The ground is leveled using a grouting machine, and a 3-meter-high base is installed at the center, which acts as a vertical base, connecting and positioning the wind turbine. Reinforcement bars form a chassis shape, creating a conical base for the tower. This requires a larger grouting machine and consumes thousands of tons of concrete, with continuous 24-hour work until the concrete is sufficiently solidified in a month. The base is then buried with soil. Next to the turbine base, a trench is dug for laying cables that transmit electricity. The other end of the cable is connected to the wind turbine substation. The substation manages, transforms, transmits, and distributes the electricity generated by multiple wind turbines, ultimately connecting to the national grid. Once everything is ready, the wind turbine assembly can begin. The blades, typically over 40 meters long, are the most challenging to transport, requiring specially equipped trucks and experienced drivers. The tower is transported in sections and assembled on site with 2 cranes. One uses a special hook, and the other uses steel ropes to lift and vertically flip the column. After aligning and tightening each screw, workers enter the scene. Now, the second column is hoisted, with the workers inside completing the connection and locking. The third segment, lifted to a height of 50 meters, requires the driver to use a walkie-talkie for precision alignment. With this segment in place, the tower is complete. Next is the nacelle, weighing over 20 tons. It's hoisted with ropes to prevent swaying. The nacelle is the heart of the wind turbine, including the gearbox, generator, and control system. After securing the nacelle, the hub is installed. This is the hub first, Flip the hub over to the vertical, although a rotating component has a fixed installation angle and is secured once the angle is perfectly aligned. Finally, the blades are installed. These massive blades require custom lifting tools for hoisting, controlled by ropes in 4 directions to ensure stability during lifting. The tension below helps with the connection when the blades reach their final height. After installation, workers manually remove the ropes, and the driver slowly removes the lifting tools from the blades. Once the last blade is installed, the wind part of the turbine is complete.
Exactly, Jenny. He sure does. I love
Say
that
it.
show. Jenny says in the show Landman, he explains how the turbines aren't green to the lawyer.
Yeah, they aren't green to the lawyer. Exactly. They're not green at all. It's something that we've been talking about for a long time. It's not like people don't know this. It's not like the people who have been making the millions and billions of dollars that have been made off of the green fraud that's been perpetuated against the people of the United States.
I worked for one of those companies.
Oh, I know. I know. And but the thing is they will never, they don't have the ability to go carbon neutral, let alone provide a positive benefit to the country. Not only that, they're murdering how many birds every single hour in this nation?
So many.
So those things are absolute garbage, and I have no idea what we're going to do with them. You can't break them down. You can't well, you can break them down, but you can't recycle them. So it's just what can we do with them? It is truly a theft against the people of the United States because it's been subsidized. So the people who have been getting uber wealthy off of the corruption of promoting this not Ponzi scheme. What kind of scam would this actually be equated to?
I don't know, because
It is a scam.
It is a scam.
And most of the people that should be getting this are the people are getting they're having everything seized from them are first and foremost the people within the government who've been pressing this lie. Those things are absolutely awful. Hey, Sheriff Hector, thanks for joining. All right. Stop making it. I've been saying the same thing. They ain't listening to us, F-Clan. Stop making them. Aaron says, make jungle gems out of the metal. I mean, we can reuse the metal, as far as I know. Of course, knowing the way the cabal works, they probably put depleted uranium in them somewhere, so that way they kill everything off. That says, I'd like to point out there's a huge difference between being a well-oiled machine or a greased machine, i.e. the government. 100%. Mike says, windmills have their place. Good for adding power to the grid, but not for constant power. Very true. They do add power to the grid. It's just they're not sustainable. And I would prefer something sustainable. I'd rather go back to what they're doing. What is it, Denmark? Yeah, those kinds of things. At least we know that they can be maintained and they're not detrimental to the environment. But whatever we got going on, we can't be using all of these man-made materials to continue to create these things, because it's the man-made materials that are actually the most destructive part out of all of it.
Yeah.
F. Clint says, part of the green news scam. Yeah, I know. They will kill way more birds per year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Randoon.
Hey, Randoon, what's going on?
Glad you're here.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for saying hi.
Yeah.
I agree. Hydro is the best that we've got at this point in time. Yeah. Make water wheels great again.
Exactly.
Or watermills.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
Shambles. Michigan Democrats threaten one of their own members for leaving the session.
Yes, Dad. And one little tornado, and it's all shit time.
Yeah.
Let's listen.
All right.
A Democrat lawmaker in Michigan was forced to hide from security today in the Republican leader's office because her own party sent the guards to hunt her down and bring her back to the floor to vote on legislation that she wanted no part of. Not only did they send security after her, though, the Attorney General of Michigan, Dana Nessel, went online and publicly threatened the representative by name with criminal charges if she failed to show up to session. Democrats lost control over the Michigan House back in November, but they don't give over control until January, so they were trying to ram through a bunch of last-minute craziness, and even their own members didn't support it, so now they've resorted to strong-arming and threatening them until they do what they want them to do. Michigan's government is in shambles right now, and you can see it on live TV. This was the moment that the Democrat Speaker of the House ordered security to hunt down one of his own Democrat members.
Speaker Pro Tem, I move to order a call of the House. Speaker moves for a call of the House. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. A call of the House is ordered. Sergeants, please bring members back to the chamber and bar the doors.
Thoughts?
If that doesn't reek of desperation, I have no idea what does. Bring them back in and bar the doors. We're going to hold these people hostage against their will.
Isn't that illegal?
I mean, generally,
like
but I mean, it's
kidnapping.
the government, and so nothing they do is illegal. Just ask them; they'll tell you everything they do is above board. And if it doesn't look good, they'll investigate themselves
Yeah.
and let us know what they find out.
Be careful, Mike.
All right, yeah, be careful, Mike. Be safe, brother. So I don't know how that's going to work out in the long run, but I hope that there's repercussions for that, because clearly this member of their legislature had no desire to be a part of it, that they had to go hide in the opposing party's offices. What kind of shit is that?
I know. I know.
They've gone so far off on the deep end. The desperation only points to the fact about how guilty they are and how much they really don't want the truth to come out.
Uh-huh.
But I can see how it'd be scary based off of the things that we're hearing. That's a very high likelihood that it's all true. So really, there's no choice. They have no choice. They've painted themselves into a corner. And now they got to, sleep in the bed that they made.
They do.
Randoon says they should bar the doors on those criminals. Yeah, at some point in time in the near future, I have a feeling that's going to happen, Randoon. Dad says, now that's the time for someone to pull the fire alarm.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Even more laws broken, something like that happens. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Exactly. Exactly. Are you ready for some Craig?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's listen.
Craig Groeschel's good.
Because God often chooses the unlikely to do the extraordinary. He often chooses people just like you and just like me. Those who don't feel educated enough, and those who don't feel holy enough, and those who don't feel worthy enough. And he calls us, and he calls you, and he prompts you. And that's why I want to tell you, if you're a follower of Jesus, I promise you, this week, you will have multiple opportunities. If you have eyes to see, and ears to hear, and a heart to care, and God will prompt you. And you have no idea how God might use one moment of boldness to change someone's life. Or you might hesitate. And that's why I say today, to hell with hesitation.
Thoughts?
Don't hesitate. Actually, this is one of the things that Kelly was talking about in terms of hesitating based off of when we're given an inspiration. And what was the specific phrase? It was delayed obedience is disobedience.
Correct.
So when you are inspired and if you have your eyes open with the eyes to see and the ears to hear, use them and understand that you are being prompted at that point in time to do something good for the world around you. And you know what that is. And those are the times when you just got to jump right in and make sure that you're helping out and have faith that, he will guide you to do the things that are expected of you in each and every situation that you are so inspired to deal with. But you gotta actually get to the business of doing the things when you have those inspirations. And this holiday season, more than likely, there will be a lot of opportunities in which to, open your heart to the world around you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just got to keep it going afterwards.
Amen, brother. You ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
Sports Illustrated model touts RFK's Maha movement.
You ready?
Yes.
RFK Jr. hasn't even been confirmed yet. And the amount of seed oil talk being thrown around Congress, something we've never heard before. Even better, Big Food is already taking shelter. One nutritionist says eating healthfully is very bad for business. And there are huge economic forces that mitigate against trying to do anything about chronic disease. Today, RFK Jr. crashed Capitol Hill, auditioning for America's personal trainer. Fetterman popped his head out to catch a glimpse of Bobby. Maybe he watched the Rogers Netflix doc. Maybe he wants to get on the psychedelic hikes. So far, we've heard from a couple senators that Kennedy is promising to serve at the will of the president. That means Kennedy is only going to be implementing Trump's agenda, not his own political agenda, because let's remember, RFK is a Democrat. But Bobby has his hands full because others want to keep their mouths full. Meet San Francisco's new fat czar.
Hi, my name is Virgie Tovar, and I'm the author of You Have the Right to Remain Fat, as well as a few other books on fat positivity and body acceptance. And the message I always got from my doctor was shrink your body by any means necessary. And it really felt like there was a sense of a don't ask, don't tell.
That's Virgie Tovar, the new fat czar, who's leading the RFK resistance. And she's well qualified. Some of her resume: she is the founder of Camp Thunder Thighs, a personal body image coach, and her latest work, playing Cupid for obese women. She created her own little reality show called Fat Girl Gets Married. So if RFK wants to climb the food pyramid, he needs to get past Virgie first. Bobby also has his eyes on Trump's menu. 45 likes the golden arches. Kennedy knows that. Good thing Trump's former White House chef has some tips. Chef Andre Rush used to maha Trump's meals, whether he liked it or not. For example, instead of Diet Coke, Rush would spike Trump's water by adding flavoring, little orange, lime, or lemon, to make it go down quicker. And to cut back on Big Macs, Rush had an alternative, topped with some beef bacon, not pork. And instead of fries drenched in seed oils, here's some sweet potatoes, Mr. President. Maha's off to a hot start. It's not about telling you what to eat. It's about offering cleaner ingredients with better recipes to go along with a more healthy and active lifestyle. Former Sports Illustrated model Kristen Llewellyn-Gaffney is here. How you doing, Kristen?
I'm good, Jesse. Thank you so much for having me. Always a pleasure.
So I don't want to fat shame anybody. So you tell me where the boundaries are. Now, this woman is a fat czar, self-proclaimed, Thunder Thigh Camp, the whole thing, and she's going to stand in the way of making America healthy again. What am I allowed to say about her?
So let's play nice here, right? We don't want to fat shame anyone, but let's
Never.
just say the good old quote, I'll never let a blind person tell me how something looks. And I'm certainly not going to take any health advice from Virgie right here. And I think the proof is in the pudding. You don't let a fat trainer give you health advice either. I'm looking at RFK. This guy is jacked doing pull-ups. I think I'm going to lean on RFK on this one.
All right, so we're not going to let the fat czar gum up the works. But there is going to be resistance here. I mean, they want us to eat unhealthily. There's a lot of money in us being sick and fat and disgusting. What do we need to do to get around that? Because every time we say anything, they're going to say, don't fat shame or don't nanny state.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, and I wish I could say I was surprised by all of the resistance around RFK. You would think no matter where you stand politically, gender, race, that we all want to be healthy and happy, right? It seems simple, but apparently not. Not surprised by the pushback of RFK, of course, because he is now under the Trump administration. People do have Trump derangement syndrome. But, we unfortunately live in a place where us being fat, sick, infertile, and stupid, it brings in the dollars. There's no business in us being healthy. And unfortunately, we do live in a health state that we are reactive, not proactive. So I think we really need to start taking those steps, listening to people like RFK who are leading by example, avoiding those seed oils, going to the gym. And in the words of one of my favorite comedians, Bill Burr, take a walk and eat an apple. It's really simple. It's all about consistency. It's not.
And eat an apple. I mean, wise words. Wise words. Not sit on your fat ass and take Ozempic. Take a hike.
Yep.
And eat an apple.
There's cheat codes everywhere. No one wants to go in the gym and lift some heavy weight, but it's all in the consistency.
All right. Merry Christmas. We like your tree. Is it real or fake? Last question.
It's fake.
Oh,
not Ozempic though. Nice and full over here.
At least you told the truth. Thank you very much, Kristen.
Always.
Merry
Always.
Christmas.
Thanks, Jesse. Happy holidays.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube.
Thoughts?
What did we have earlier about not What was that about not the video Jenny had about not judging people?
No, it was about the body will fade, but it's the heart. But here's the thing.
You're the one playing all this crap.
Yes, but the thing is
She's ugly to the bone. I get it.
Okay, you can't say that it's, you know, it's fat shaming or anything like that. It's about being healthy. It's not about the weight. Because, okay, obviously, I'm not like a supermodel or anything, but it's about being healthy. And it's okay to not go get seconds, and it's okay to skip a meal, and it's okay to eat vegetables, and it's okay to take a walk instead. You know, I love the people who go to the gym and will drive around for 15 minutes looking for the front parking spot. You're going to work out, dumbass. Park in the North 40 and walk your ass up there.
So that's actually an excellent first step or many steps is to park further out. But these are the
This
things.
is why I don't keep my camera on, because I can't control my facial expressions. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, I understand.
Bizarre.
Making it okay to make fat great again. Look, medicine has not been what medicine should be.
No.
The doctors should feel a lot more comfortable telling people to eat right, diet, exercise, and sunlight. Really, that's the first start before you do anything else. It got easy for doctors to make a buck by selling some kind of pharmaceutical, what the hell ever, that the big pharma was giving them hundreds of dollars for each time they give a prescription out. The doctors are very much to blame with this, with the collusion of the mainstream media telling people it's okay. We got pills for that. We got surgeries for that. You don't have to do shit. You can continue to sit on your ass and do absolutely nothing, and we can make you lose weight. How many of these people that have we seen with all of this plastic surgery? There's that one gal that looks like Barbie, the other weirdo that looks like Ken has pec implants. God forbid that dude ever actually have to use a muscle.
I know.
See, we've gotten content with a facsimile of the real thing where we can medicate ourselves skinny and we can use drugs to build more muscle and all of this. We forgot what it's like to be feral, natural human beings. That's why everything's so messed up, because we're so withdrawn from our own humanity that people recognize what we're supposed to be, but they don't want to have to do the things that people really didn't have a choice to before, because we have everything to make our life more comfortable. Even the act of riding a horse, is going to take more energy than getting our asses in a car and driving wherever. Of course, cars, the cities used to be a lot smaller and people didn't commute as much. And there was all of that stuff going on. And so we need to really get a much more healthy relationship with the things that we've created to make our lives more easy, because these things that make our lives more easy is also the very thing that could be our demise. And that's taking out car accidents altogether. That's just merely gaining weight. Maybe we should be able to sue the car manufacturers for making everybody fat as we sue the fast food joints. Taking them to their drive-throughs. So you don't even have to get out of your damn car anymore. You can be fat and never leave your car. What a time to be alive.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm over this one.
Can you read that, please?
Is it? Yeah, okay. Wall Street Journal. Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong one. Peter Doocy describes his front row seat of the White House covering up Dementia Joe's condition. This is coming out more and more.
Ready?
Yeah.
I had a front row seat to a lot of this, and at various times was basically told not to believe what I was seeing or hearing. The president misspoke. The president has a cold. But now the dam appears to be breaking. This Wall Street Journal item interviewed 50 people familiar with Biden's operation. And it raises a lot of questions about who was making key decisions. You mentioned the Afghanistan withdrawal. If the president was as diminished as this story makes it sound, that would be a huge problem. And it could explain why certain decisions were made that turned out to be catastrophic and why no apologies were ever made. To your point, Brian, when the cabinet met all 9 times, which is the least in the last several decades that a president has had their whole cabinet together in an entire term, there was a different item a few months ago where cabinet secretaries were being asked to submit their questions for the president behind closed doors in advance. And they were being told to keep it quick because the way that it worked was they would ask a question that was pre-screened and then the president would have a card with the answer, even in a closed setting. And I hear a lot of the complaints about, and there was a bite in the open, why wasn't there more coverage of the president's age and acuity earlier? Well, a lot of the stories that you hear...
You kept asking.
I kept asking the whole time. And a lot of the stories that we would hear, that we would try to report out, are secondhand, but it's a lot of stuff like, you would hear from somebody on the staff or somebody that works at the White House. It looked like the president was falling asleep somewhere. Okay, hard to confirm that, but we have tape of him falling asleep at events,
Peter,
as recently as his most recent foreign trip.
Thoughts?
All right. So we've been hearing more about President Biden's mental decline. There was that article that was showed a couple of weeks ago that O'Keefe did, where one of the little clowns over there managed to talk about Biden's mental decline, the fact that he, couldn't even understand words. He needed definition for specific words. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. But regardless, he does not have the mental capabilities to be able to do the position that he's in at this point in time. But I don't think that surprises any of us. I believe that this is, again, more exposure. Now it's on Fox News. It's Peter Doocy. He's had a hell of a time trying to deal with the dirty Q-tip. What's her name? KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre.
I got a video of her coming up.
Oh, great. I didn't feel like listening to her voice. But anyways, he's been having a heck of a time trying to deal with Karine Jean-Pierre. And she's just lying through and through every single time. But this is more mainstream stuff, and this is going to be the kind of thing that will inflame. It's actually great fodder for all of the Christmas parties that everybody's going to be going to, because family members are looking forward to flapping their jib and getting those shots in there. How's Biden working out for you? I hope you enjoy the next 4 years.
Politics at Christmas. Ha ha ha
ha. Yeah, you're getting that's Merry Christmas. That's your present. Politics, bitch. And I think that that's a lot of what's going to happen. Are there going to be some fiery Christmas parties? Yeah. But I think that people are at that point right now, and people can bring up these kinds of things. And if they're coming over to your house, make sure Fox News is on all the time, because that'll really make their heads melt. Not that any of us actually care about Fox News, but at least Fox News is putting that information out there. It'd be kind of fun too. Yeah, I don't even trust Fox News, but at least what they're saying right now makes sense. And I think that this is part of the pain. You know what? These people unwillingly are going to a new altitude. It's going to be a little turbulent for them for a little while. And these are the kinds of stories that will bring up that turbulence, because they can't reject the fact that Biden doesn't even really know who he is. And they were willing to support this. So really, any of the arguments that there are far left family members and friends, as far as they're concerned, it's time for them to, take a piece of the humble pie.
Yes.
But be nice to them. Don't piss them off.
Exactly.
Even though they get pissed off at everything that doesn't show that they're the smartest people on the planet.
I know.
They'll figure it out one day.
Right? You ready?
Yeah.
I got Italian Princess. You're going to have to read.
All right. What's happening in D.C.? All right. Kamala Harris just abruptly canceled her planned trip to California and, quote, raced to the White House end quote, per reporters. Also, Biden just returned to D.C. after being expected to stay in Delaware until after Christmas. Is there something going on? There goes my bright and shiny tinfoil crown.
Thoughts?
All right. I'm not exactly sure what we're getting at here, but we're definitely being set up for something. Is it in relation to the drones? Very real possibility. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I also understand that Jill Biden's not exactly happy with the Democrat Party. I think that this is going to be a busy Christmas weekend. And as much as I say that, we shouldn't try to piss off our family members, I have a sneaking suspicion that there's going to be a lot of things that are coming out over the Christmas window there where everybody's having their dinner, and it's going to force the conversations. I don't think that people are going to be able to afford the conversations or avoid the conversations because there's constantly stuff going on. Yeah, Carol, the spending bill. Exactly. Again, yet another thing. I firmly believe that it's gonna spin up here for Christmas. Possibly, I don't know what they're gonna do for New Year's. Don't go any major public places for New Year's. We know that they always go after the most crowded places wherever it's at. So yeah, be careful and keep your head on a swivel if you're out in large crowded events. Jenny says, I thought I saw that Jill retired. Yeah, I didn't see anything about her retiring. I just heard that she was butthurt about the way everything played out. Chachi says, the gallows are calling Kamala home.
You ready?
Yeah.
I got Tucker and Kid Rock talking about Trump.
All right.
You've seen Trump a lot recently. How's he doing? Oh, for son of a bitch, he's doing great. It's incredible. I love spending time with him, getting to know him, having dinner at the White House with him. And from there on, we've just really hit it off. You've been with Trump a bunch of times since he got indicted and the world has kind of crashed in around him. How does he seem? Can't tell. Really?
Oh, I mean, when we're golfing or we're hanging out in different scenarios here and there, the spirits are always up. He's always talking about this country. He's always talking about this country and how he wants to win for it. He likes to win in anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Anything. I won $100 from him at the UFC. I don't think he was too happy about it.
You think Trump's going to win?
He needs to win. I pray to God he.
Do you think you've got the majority view among golfers?
Yeah, I think all of us on the tours and everything, we all want Daddy Trump back.
Really? Why?
Because he was a great president. He's a great guy once you get to know him. He flew his helicopter and we played a pro-am. We went out back, we talked a little bit. And when he stood up, he says, mark my words, I'll be president of the United States. This is back in 92, 93, 94 maybe.
How's his golf? How would you assess it?
I got to work with his chipping a little bit, but he hits it good. He putts it good. We just got to work on his chipping.
What's wrong with the chipping?
Because keep saying you got to move the ball up. Everybody thinks when you chip, you got to move it back. You actually need to move it up a bit. If I don't see him for a while, it goes back to that bad habit again.
So when you correct him,
it's like Tiger or Phil.
So why not be like full-time Trump golf coach?
I don't think he has time to play that much golf.
How many do you drink a day, Diet Cokes?
Not as many as Daddy Trump. My God, I thought I could drink him, but man, he can drink them.
He's unbelievable.
He does put them away.
I used to put them away. I used to have about 20, 22 of them a day.
22 Diet Cokes a day?
Yeah.
So you're getting all your hydration from Diet Coke?
Pretty much, yeah.
How
I
did
could
you
probably outlast a camel when it comes if I have to drink water. I can't stand water.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I hate it.
See what I'm dealing with here?
Trump's like in the 70s.
He smokes cigarettes, so he kind of balances it out.
Exactly.
It's totally ready.
Well, nicotine and caffeine equal protein, Tucker.
Where's this country gone?
I miss it so much.
Got to get the big boys now to help us out. Daddy Trump can do this. Done it before. Kid Rock for vice president.
2024. It's called crocodiles, the most poisonous snakes and the rhinos. Head south to Mexico. Try crossing my border again, you son of a bitch.
Outstanding.
Thoughts?
They're just having a jolly old time, aren't they? That was pretty funny. It's notice. I think that the real takeaway here is notice the ease on their face and how comfortable they felt. and the inflammatory things that they're saying.
Uh-huh.
See, the power that the left has held over everybody over the past however many decades, controlling people's language because they're not allowed to say this or that or the other thing for fear of being some kind of ist or what's the other one? Racist, fascist, and then
Homophobic.
phobe. Yeah, all the ists and the phobes, right? That's what they've been living off of. But these gentlemen aren't concerned about that in the slightest bits whatsoever. They've lost their power. And if they're taking a deep breath and recognizing that everything's okay, despite everything else it's not like they're not seeing all the fact that the world looks like it's on fire right now. They seem to be doing all right. Let that one sink into your heart. And recognize it's all going to be okay. It may not be beautiful for a little while. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Now you're going to have to read this one, so you might have to blow it up.
Oh, God.
And I went to X and it is really there. I'm just trying to figure out, is this really true?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's see. News Treason Channel 17 says, of all bases to show during the Army-Navy game, the broadcast showed Guantanamo Bay. Full control. Grab your popcorn. Pain is coming. Yes, it is.
Army and Navy service members, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Great duty station.
Thoughts on that one?
Great duty station.
Is that all you got?
When they become the 52nd state, I think I'm going to move down there.
Are you?
Yeah, I think, we're moving to Cuba.
Okay.
After they become a state.
Okay.
I've always wanted to go back. It's beautiful.
Are you ready?
Yeah. It's the jewel of the Caribbean.
Let's listen.
Or do you prefer Caribbean or Caribbean? I like Caribbean.
I like Caribbean.
It is the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Caribbean.
Whatever. Anyways.
Are you ready?
Just random thoughts. Thanks for joining us.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I think there's a lot of people who have been preached a Jesus that does not exist. And when he does not come through for you the way that you expect him to, you get so disillusioned, you walk away. We've preached to you a genie. We haven't taught you about suffering. We haven't taught you about the promises of hardship and trials. And so we preach to you a fairy tale gospel that when real life hits, you don't have enough Bible in you to sustain. You get disillusioned and you walk away. The person that's alone, listen, I think your hurt is legitimate for a lot of you, and your pain is legitimate, and yes, you was hurt by someone. But my brother or my sister, God has not called you to isolation. He's not called you to a silo. He's not called you to be radically individualistic. The language of the New Testament is all plural, we, us, and our. It is obvious if you read the New Testament, you will come away with the reality that God has called us to biblical community. God has called us to community, and we see in our strengths and our weaknesses how he designed us to be hooked into one another. Where I am weak, you are strong. You are weak, I am strong. God does his best work in the life of the believer in the secret place and in the context of community.
And I agree with that 100% because where I am weak, Santino is strong. And where Santino is weak, I am strong. And that is super important to me.
I think it is one of the things that makes us work with each other is the fact that we do cover each other's blind spots, I guess is another way to say that. And I think it's one of the best things that we can do just as human beings. The old phrase, no man is an island, means that you can't do everything on your own. Can you do a significant amount on your own? Could you survive out in the wilderness? Maybe you might have the skills, but are you going to live as best as you could?
Right.
No, you're not. It is absolutely imperative that we work with each other. Otherwise, the system wouldn't be set up the way it is. He made man and woman to work with each other, and then they had kids, and then they had to work with each other. And, it's just the way it is. There is no I in team. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you, Dawn.
I mean, it really works because, like, I can write an email and have Santino go over it because I suck.
Used to. You have improved significantly, and you make amazing emails.
But I used to have Santino read them before I sent them because he's so amazing with words.
She doesn't need me anymore.
I do.
She said used to.
I haven't written an email in a while, but when I do, I have him read it because he is amazing at words. And I'm great with numbers. He hates numbers. And that's okay. It works. It works well. And we support each other. And that's the most important thing. And that's what God is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's listen.
You absolutely need to see this. So this is a conversation between Joe Rogan and Mark Andreessen. Mark Andreessen's basically a billionaire tech investor who's invested in a multitude of tech companies. He's very in the know when it comes to Silicon Valley, tech startups, AI, things of that nature. So in the know that he was having conversations with the Biden administration. And this is how he recalls those conversations with the Biden administration. Watch this.
Yeah, the AI thing was very alarming. We had meetings this spring that were the most alarming meetings I've ever been in, where they were taking us through their plans, and it was
Like what kind of, can you talk about it?
basically just full government control, like this sort of thing. There will be a small number of large companies that will be completely regulated, controlled by the government. They told us, they just said, don't even start startups, like don't even bother. Like there's just no way. There's no way that they can succeed. There's no way that we're going to permit that to happen.
Wow.
Yeah, they said this is already over. It's going to be 2 or 3 companies, and we're gonna control them, and that's that. Like this is already finished.
Oh my God. No, then when you leave a meeting like that, what do?
You go endorse Donald Trump.
And when thinking about that, it's scary. And then if you think what they're able to do with control of the AI, it even becomes more scary. But they were so authoritarian that this man said, I have to go vote for the other guy. I want you to think about that for a second. The same ones that are calling the other guy a threat to democracy, saying he's going to be a dictator, are the same ones sending people screaming the other way with their hair on fire because they're so authoritarian. We need to bring attention to this. The more transparent we are, the more open we are, the more the American people really know what's going on, the more accountability we can have for things like this. Keep working, keep getting the message out, keep bringing, and it's so good that he did this because what it did is it gave other people the confidence to come forward and say what has been done to them. There have been multiples of people debanked in crypto, like tech founders debanked, right? Because they're working in a disruptive industry and many players, many businesses are colluding with the government, right? And the government doesn't want to lose control. Certain individuals in the government don't want to lose that control. So again, it's good that he's exposing this. I might kind of make this like a couple part series to show different parts because there was a lot of good information in this interview. Anyway, that's all I got. I'll see y'all in the next one. Don't forget to hit that follow button.
Thoughts?
All right. So it's not a surprise. It's something that we all understood. We all understood that they wanted complete control, that they wanted to tell us the whole 15-minute city thing. We weren't surprised by this, but I think it's something that exposure needs to continue to come out. I don't know how big of a following that man has, but he is definitely, putting that information out there. Of course, the other one was on Joe Rogan Experience. So a lot of people got that one.
Yeah.
So like this information is coming out and people already knew the amount of corruption and how much they really wanted to truly enslave us. It was purely divine providence that delivered us from that. And we did, we meaning all of us, you included, we all did our part by talking to other people. And that is one of the main things that helped everybody else kind of open their eyes, poke their head up and look around and say, oh, yeah, there's some really dumb stuff going on right now. We need to protect ourselves from. It's coming out, but I think that it won't sink in until there's a movie made about it and it explains. I think a lot of people will need to be handheld in this process as we come out of the slumber that we've been in because of the psychological operation perpetrated against each and every one of us. Jenny says he's got a big following. Oh, does he? Okay, nice.
Dad's getting a migraine. We
Uh-oh.
love you, Dad.
I love you, Dad. Take
I
care
hope
of
you feel
yourself.
better.
Yeah, get some rest. I love you, Dad. Chachi says he probably had to sign an NDA to keep his mouth shut till right now.
Mhm.
Probably.
You ready?
Yeah.
I got to read this. So,
All right.
Judge rejects federal government request to allow Derek, how do you say his name?
Chauvin.
Chauvin to examine George Floyd's heart.
Hmm.
I'm starting to think we're never going to know the truth about that case.
What, the George Floyd thing?
Mm-hmm.
But it's been coming up a lot lately.
I know, but why
That's
would
usually
they
an-
deny it?
It's an indicator. Well, right now, everything's going to go negatively until those people are taken out of office. It's going to continue to happen. They're still going to try. I mean, look at California's trying to declare a pandemic. They have no choice. They are painted into a corner and they have no options. So they're going to continue to do the corruption that they've done to try to cover their own tracks, to, cover up the shit that they left, in the middle of the room for everybody to see. Nope, that wasn't me. Nope, nothing here.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying.
I know.
Once Trump gets back in office, once Elon Musk and Doge starts showing everybody how much money is wasted in the government everywhere, it's going to have that domino effect, and this will be one of the things that will eventually, they will not be able to deny it. It's got to happen. I mean, just now Fani Willis got dismissed from her position, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to take a while, but the game has to play itself out. We'll see.
Yep.
Have faith. It's going to come out.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen.
All right.
Here's how you know that you have a true friend. There's a simple way to know if you've got a true friend in your corner. Isabella Lundy said it best: true friendship withstands time, distance, and silence. If you got these three things, you got to ride or die. Number one, a true friend is a friend for life. You both grow, evolve, hit different stages, but you still rock with each other through it all. It's not about always being on the same wave. It's about respecting each other's journey. Number two, you don't got to be in the same place. Real friends, they support you even from a distance. Maybe you move away, maybe they start chasing different dreams, and that's all good. You want them to win just as much as you want to win yourself. And number three, probably the most important one, you don't need to be talking every day. Sometimes you'll go weeks, months without chopping it up. But when you do, it's like you never missed a beat. That's how you know it's real. If you got people like that in your life, hold on to them. That's rare.
That is so true. When you have true friendship, it doesn't matter. You don't have to talk every single day. It can be months, and you just pick up the phone, call them, and it's like you haven't even missed a beat. So that is so important. And I think that's why Santino and I's relationship has been so successful, because we started out as friends. We talked as friends, and it makes it so much better. And I love to see him succeed just as much as he loves to see me succeed. So not only is he my husband, he's my best friend.
She doesn't love to watch me succeed. Otherwise, she would play Monopoly with me.
Oh, I'll never play Monopoly with him again. He cheats.
I don't cheat. I just win.
But
yes.
Anyway, and I think it's very important that we remember how important real friendship is. And that's why if someone's not here, I actually check on you guys, because I don't just look at you guys as people who watch our show. I look at you as family.
We enjoy getting to know each and every one of y'all.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun.
Don was shocked the other day that I remembered that Carol and her work late on Tuesday and Thursdays. Well, that's because they're my family. And of course, I'm going to remember.
She doesn't forget anything.
Are going to have to work on those days at night.
Painfully so.
Anyway, I have nothing else.
I love you.
I love you too. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Good. I'm glad it's this one, because you didn't want to hear her voice.
The United States has disbursed $20 billion to a new World Bank fund that will provide economic support for Ukraine. The U.S. and G7 loans will be paid back by the interest earned from Russia's immobilized sovereign assets, putting the cost of the war on Russia, not on U.S. taxpayers. that Russian sovereign assets in our jurisdictions will remain immobilized until Russia ends its aggression and pays for the damages it has caused Ukraine. Aggressors and tyrants will be responsible for the damage they cause.
Thoughts?
So,
And that's my brand right there.
this is one of those things, one of the reasons why they're trying to get all that big money to be sent everywhere else. They need to pay their people off to try to get as much help as they can get. That's what this is about. It's a money play. It's about their money and their ability to use our money. Yeah, it's not their money. It's about their ability to use our money to benefit themselves and save their ass, as it looks like their entire world is crumbling down. They need the money. They're going to send it away. But it can only last so long. They know that the music is about to stop, and none of them have a seat with which to sit down. That's where we're at. And so they're going to push through. They're going to push through these big spending bills. We know we don't care about Ukraine. You know that we don't care about Ukraine, and they know that nobody cares about Ukraine except them, because it's the most corrupt nation in the world. That's why they weren't getting, admitted to NATO. Everybody knew that Ukraine was the most corrupt.
I know.
Yet here we are.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll help people figure out at some point in time that as we head closer and closer to World War III, and even Zelensky and Putin have said that they want to work with Trump, they will persist in what they're doing to try to save their own ass. F. Clyn says, I can't wait for those damn clowns to be gone.
I agree.
I agree.
Are you ready?
Ready for the clown show to end.
Me too. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the clown show ending, best Christmas song ever.
All right.
Well, the tide is finally turning, and Kamala's speech is slurring. Thank God we're saying bye to Joe. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke. And the mainstream media's dying, their viewers shaving their heads and crying. What is a woman? Well, they still don't know. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke. They tried to stop us by taking his life, but they missed, so it's fight, fight, fight. The left really thought they'd beat the right, and they fought, but they lost, thank the Lord. Now January is coming. Half of Hollywood's already running. They're finding new countries to call home. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke.
Thoughts?
We're all tired of the woke. Screw the woke. Screw the woke. Screw the woke.
I agree.
What a fitting song for the season.
I know. Wasn't it greatest Christmas song ever?
Yeah. Happy Saturnalia woke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
I know this is heavy, but there are many times you will have to walk out a faith step in the face of the people you love, disagreeing with what God has called you to do. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I want you to get, oh God, you want everybody to agree with you, and they won't, because God didn't speak to them. And if you're waiting for the confirmation to come from somebody who doesn't pray, I do not understand how you are wanting somebody who does not have a relationship with God to confirm to you that God told you to do something. What? Well, they got so many years of wisdom and they've been disobedient for years. Money does not, well, they're a guru in this space and God's hand is not on them. This is what I'm telling you. Saul was still in position as king when God had taken his hand off of him. He don't listen to me. He won't obey me. I'm not talking to him no more. And if you do not get your eyes off of people who have been successful, but God's not speaking to them the way he's speaking to you, you will find yourself in the wrong spot.
Thoughts?
All right. Do not get your eyes off of people who have been successful, but, oh, geez, and I lost it. That was like the perfect one. I was trying, anyways, lots of stuff going on in the background. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, turn it over to God. Let's drive on.
You ready?
Yeah.
There is this Stoic saying, the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. It's tempting to think this quote from Epictetus is all about external recognition and applause, but that's far from the truth. Because in Stoic philosophy, the real glory isn't about what others see or applaud. It's about the internal transformation that happens when we wrestle with life's toughest moments, when we respond with virtues like courage, resilience, and wisdom. And thus, as a true Stoic, you look at your obstacles and say, this is a chance to test and apply my virtues, a chance to prove to myself, not to the world, that I have what it takes to overcome and evolve.
So,
All right, babe.
life is going to throw challenges at us, designed specifically to piss us off and take us off track and prevent us from finding our best selves. Thing is we're not doing this personal growth in an effort to try to get recognition or accolades from other human beings, because in the end, what does another human being's opinion matter? They're not God, they're not Jesus, they're not any of those people that we need to get their approval from. As a matter of fact, other people generally have a tendency to provide opportunities in which for us to grow. And so if we choose not to grow and we continue to choose to wallow in the misery of everything that's going on in life, we're failing ourselves. We're failing ourselves every single time that we choose to let the situation dictate who we are. When we let the situation dictate who we are by allowing our emotional being to be overcome with all of the flood of emotions that can happen, we find ourselves in a rather negative space that we need to work ourselves out of. See, that's one of the problems of trying to get accolades from other human beings. What we need to do is we need to recognize that God loves us and God wants us to be in peace. And so we have to fight for that peace every moment of every day. And when the world that continues to attack us every moment of every single day, don't think I don't know about this. I've lived it and I still live it in so many ways. I can tell you that my HVAC class was extremely challenging, watching the instructor spend most of his time on the freaking Instagram and bullshit like that, as opposed to teaching. See, it made me very angry because I had a difficult time trying to communicate to him the things that made me upset. So I had to spend a lot of time trying to take some deep breaths, trying to find another way in which to say the things that I need to say with love. And if I couldn't say anything, then I just bit my tongue as best as I could and tried to move on with life and recognize what I needed to do in that situation, so that way I could mitigate the problems that I was encountering in life. Remember, the obstacle is the way. So we're given these obstacles in order for us to grow. But if we refuse to grow and we insist on remaining in our ruts, we find ourselves even more alone than we were before. And that's a terrible place to be. So it's incumbent upon us to try to dig down deep inside. When the world wants to hate us, we have to be the ones to bring the love forward. We have to be the ones to be the example of love. And if we refuse to be that example of love, then we will only receive in the mirror exactly what we put out in the world around us. So we have to take stock and we have to take a deep breath and we have to relax and calm down and let our heart do the guiding as to how we can get out of these negative situations in life.
Amen. Because sometimes it's not going to go right and sometimes it's not going to be easy. And a lot of times it's going to be very stressful. But at the same time, as long as you remember to run to the cross, it always, always, always gets better. Always. We're going to miss you guys this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to miss y'all this weekend, but we will be back on Monday, correct?
Mhm.
Because Christmas is Wednesday. And then I'm assuming we're not really doing Hanukkah this year. We're still doing the Christmas thing, I guess. So we're gonna go ahead and take off Christmas. Which days are we taking off so everybody has a heads up? It's only like a couple of days.
Yeah, probably just Tuesday, Thursday, Christmas Eve, and Christmas. I don't know what's going on with Amber.
Tuesday,
yet.
Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
'cause
Yeah,
that's
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Sounds about right.
And
Plus,
then,
everybody's going to be busy
yeah, they're
anyways.
gonna be busy
Yeah, everybody's
anyway.
going to be busy because so many people have been going on vacation. We see that there's been a lot fewer people, and that's fine. We want people to go live their lives. So yeah,
And
make sure
then-
you're going to live your lives.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the week after is New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So again, Tuesday, Wednesday will be no shows. So for the next 2 weeks, it'll just be Monday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, or Monday, Thursday, Friday.
Yes. There we go.
Okay.
All right. So we'll be back on Monday. I'm glad we got that hashed out. So we'll be back again on Monday, and we are going to miss each and every one of you. And we will see y'all at the same time on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on Rumble or YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And if you're on Facebook, you have like 7 choices.
We know y'all love pushing buttons.
We know you guys like pushing buttons. You're our family.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise,
push
you wouldn't be
those-
hanging out here because we love pushing
Exactly.
buttons too. Birds of a feather flock together.
Exactly. And Michelle, you have my number. If you miss me this weekend, you can text me, ma'am.
All right, everybody. We love you all. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and God bless each and every one of you.